Hey
What's
man,
good? What's
hey, I
up?
have a question for you.
I have an answer for you.
Yeah, so do you believe there's a heaven after we die?
I do.
Yeah, so do you think you're gonna go there?
Ah, man. I'd like to hope so.
So what do you think can get you into heaven then?
Ah, I don't know. I haven't thought that far yet.
But okay, so you agree with me that you haven't lived a perfect life, right? Because I haven't lived a perfect life.
I don't know.
Like for example, God told
I'm a
us
good
that.
boy.
Yeah, okay, so you think you're a good boy. So one of God's commandments is we shouldn't tell a lie, right? Because we all know that lying is bad. Now I've told a lot of lies, man. How about you? Have you ever told a lie before?
I don't know. You tell me. How many white dots do I got on my fingernails? Mom always said those were lies. Look, there's one right there. Oh, no.
Yeah,
I
I
read
don't know.
a little.
But you, like you, for
That one's
example.
pretty white, though, so maybe it was a white lie.
Yeah. So have you ever told a lie before?
Apparently.
Sorry.
Apparently.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And how about this? Have you ever used bad language? Cursing, swearing.
Fuck no.
Well, you just said one, right?
Oh,
Yeah. And
yeah, okay.
lastly, being rude or angry towards other people. Have you ever done that?
Shut the fuck up. No, I've never done that.
Well, you're acting rude to me right now. So there's that, right? So I've done those things as well, man. So let's say if God were to judge both of us right now on based on those things. All right. Are we
Oh, I did
innocent?
him before you. I'm white.
Yeah, so but besides that, man, so we've broken God's laws, right? So if we break God's laws, what do you think? Are we innocent or are we guilty?
Look, man, at the end of the day, as long as you truly accept God into your heart or whatever you believe is God, I'm a firm believer that you will go and see your family again. And it's like a big. Adam Sandler had a movie, bro. I could never find it. It sounds stupid, I know. Bro, this kid, he was sitting outside of his window on a tree, and the kid asked him, this was in the 90s. He goes, "What do you think happens when we die?" And I'm
Hmm.
pretty sure, like, the basics was like Adam Sandler said, imagine your life is like on a VHS tape for like a VCR, and you plug it into that or you push it into that VCR, and you sit there with everybody, like all your loved ones, and like everybody that's ever died. You just sit there. You can like watch parts of your life, like whatever part you want. You can skip parts if you think it's embarrassing or if you think it's fucking not normal, or you can people can watch whatever. Like you can just watch parts of your own life or your other people's lives. And he said that was what he thought heaven was. So that's kind of always stuck with me. I don't know. I think that's what heaven is to me. I think heaven is whatever you think that it is to you.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I mean, I'm not opposed to heaven and hell, right? But what I'm asking for is, do you think you're good enough to go to heaven, right? Because we can
I
agree on heaven, right? But the problem is, are we gonna go there? Because, yeah, right. So, and
think
I
you need to watch fucking what's that guy's name? Cliff I'm sure you know him then. Cliff.
Cliff Connectly, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, you should watch him, man. He probably has a better answer for you than I ever would. Because I don't try to dwell on the macabre.
Yeah,
So
but I'm actually talking to you right now, man. And right, so you believe in heaven, right? So I want you to go to heaven, right? So what do you think can you do?
well, when I honestly start thinking about stuff like that, then I
Mm-hmm,
think about my dad.
mm-hmm,
And I think if there's a place where my dad is not at, and my dad has actually murdered people before,
mm-hmm,
shouldn't say that because he's been pissed about that recently, but he's definitely killed people.
mm-hmm.
And if he's done that, he truly accepts God into his heart, and his whole family, besides religious and stuff, they're from Los Angeles. If he goes to heaven, I want to be in heaven with him. If he goes to hell, I'll fucking spend eternity in hell next to my father before I would go to heaven and spend it with anybody else. That's just
Mm.
what it's, who's to say that he gets to go to heaven? My heaven wouldn't be heaven for me if I was the most perfect. I could stop drinking, stop smoking right now, turn my life to God 100%. But if I go to heaven and my dad's not there, I don't want to be there. That's not going to be heaven for me.
So
There's also an episode of the Twilight Zone. Sorry to interrupt you, but there's also an episode of the Twilight Zone called The Hunt, starring Arthur Honeycutt from the '60s. It has Rod Serling. He's the creator of the Twilight Zone. You should go and watch that one too. It's about 30 minutes long, and it has a good representation of what heaven and hell is like, and it makes me cry every single time. It's beautiful. But
so earlier you said something about believing in God and that gets you into heaven. Is that it? Like or surrendering yourself to God?
I just said like basically if I just do everything that you should do and I said turn
Mm-hmm.
your life to God,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean
but it
doing
wouldn't
good.
be my heaven.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be heaven without my family. If all my family's not there, if the people that I love and care about, my friends and stuff's not there, I don't want to go to heaven. I want to go wherever they're at.
Well, yeah, trying to change your ways, right? Trying to be better is like a good thing to do, right? Yeah, so that's what we want to do. But there is a problem with that, man. So, like, think about it. When you do good deeds today, right? Does it take away the punishment for all of the bad deeds you've done before?
Um, I don't know. It kind of evens it out, right? I hope so. I do a lot of good things. I pull over if I see somebody has a flat tire. Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I don't.
Yeah. Well,
Uh,
that's
Sometimes I
that's
give money to homeless people. Sometimes I don't.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do. Well, but think of it logically, right? Let's say you broke the law. Let's say me for example. Let's say I committed a crime, right? And then I told the judge, "Judge, even if I commit this crime, look at all of the people I helped." Right? Does that mean that I don't need to go to jail for the crime that I committed just because I help other people?
You're comparing two different things because there's no proof of the good thing. Unless if you have proof, like 100% proof, if you just videotape your whole life, which a lot of people do nowadays, and
Well,
you have like witnesses and stand buyers that say you're an upstanding citizen of your community and you do all these good things, then I mean, maybe not. It depends on the crime also too. If you murdered somebody's children and fucking raped their wife, it's like, do you deserve to not go to jail because you paid for somebody's meal in front of you and fucking Five Guys? Like, no, probably not.
yeah, and even if
You're
it's
comparing the justice system with heaven, my guy.
Yeah, like well, think about this way, man. So someone who invented the cure for cancer, does that mean that he can just simply run over any stop sign that he wants to just because hey, he invented the cure for cancer? Doesn't make sense, right? I mean, even if you did a lot of good deeds, if you break the law, you deserve punishment. Otherwise, like that would be injustice, right?
Have you ever seen the movie An Interview with God?
No, actually.
I think that one's all about free will.
Yeah,
Everybody has free will, man. You can do whatever you want.
yeah.
If you invent the cure for cancer and then go out and kill somebody and give them cancer and let them watch them die, you have free will to do that. You can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I agree with the free
Yeah,
will. And also, you agree with me that free will also has consequences, right? Like your
yeah,
free, yeah. And so, God being just, right? He has to give us the punishment for all of the bad deeds that we've done, like lying, right?
I hate when people say like, I don't hate, but I disagree when people say that they know for sure what God's plan is and what God can do and this and that. It's like, dude, you don't know. Like,
Well,
we can stop the whole conversation right there because you don't know. I don't know. Nobody knows. I've talked to people. I've talked to like probably 8 to 10 people that have died before. I've been in jail. I've fucking seen a lot of stuff on the streets. I used to hang out on the streets a lot with a lot of drug addicts, and almost every single one of the people that I've talked to were drug addicts. I think every single one was, and most of them were heroin addicts, and they would die, and then they would be brought back to life from Narcan or shocked back to life or whatever, and they'd come back to the streets and they'd say, "Hey, when I died, almost every single one of them had the exact same story, which was scary to me, but they almost all basically said there was a little difference in each one of their stories, obviously, but for the most part, most of them said it was just black. It was just completely, it was like, it wasn't like as if you were sleeping, but it wasn't as if you were awake. It was just like a darkness that you couldn't imagine.
mm,
And I thought that was fucking horrifying. So it's like you can go off their accounts, people that have actually passed away and been brought back after 2 or 3 minutes, but who really knows what happens after death? Nobody. Nobody
actually,
knows. Fucking Neil deGrasse Tyson doesn't know. Fucking Bill Nye the Science Guy doesn't know. My dad doesn't know. Your dad doesn't know. I don't know. Nobody knows.
that's actually an interesting idea, right? Yeah, so I agree. So we should take the truth based from the people that actually experience it, right? So you're saying that you would agree with someone who died, right? And then they're
Yeah.
gonna tell you what it feels like, right?
No, I'm not. I'm saying the exact opposite. I'm saying that you can't agree. I'm saying that you can, if you would like to, you can take
Mm.
accounts from them, and you can do to each their own. You can
But
do whatever you want.
but would you believe
But I'm
them? The
not
ones
here
that, yeah,
about
the friends. Oh, sorry, the friends that you're telling, are were they your friends, or the ones that you know that died and then like got back again? They said that it's all black, right? Do you believe them?
almost. It's well when you have multiple accounts. It's not like it was just like one person or
Mm-hmm.
two people had this happen.
Mm-hmm.
There was a girl right down the street that got hit by a car. She had said the same thing. There was a kid that was actually dating that girl that overdosed on heroin. He said the exact same thing. Then there's other people too that don't have any connection to each other that were just random people that were running around my neighborhood growing up, and none
So
of them had almost none of them had any connection to each other. So it's not like they all conjugated together and tried to come up with these stories. But I take I use my brain and try to say like, hey, are they right? Are they wrong? Who knows? That's what I'm trying to tell you is like they could be lying. They could all
yeah,
be lying.
but it would be
You look
more it you would believe someone, you would most likely believe them more, right? Because they experience it, right? Unlike someone who hasn't experienced that before. Would you agree?
I can't. I have. That's where we have to stop. That's where we have to stop this conversation is because I can't. You
Because
can't believe anybody's word for anything until I've experienced it myself. The other day, actually, this is so weird. This conversation comes up. Literally 2 days ago, at my brother's wedding, I fell and hit my head and was bleeding and went to the hospital. I don't remember any of it. So, I mean, I didn't die, but it's like, if that's what it's like when you die, dude, I have no fucking recollection of that at all. It's
yeah,
just like out, like
well,
blank. It's nothing but blank.
yeah, just because you said it yourself, right? You didn't actually die, right? But suppose
No,
someone actually died and rose again and then told you what actually happens. Would you believe that person?
I mean, it depends on how fucking wooing they are. It depends on how good they sell it, I guess.
Let's say
I
they
don't know if,
died.
you
Let's
know,
say that person died, and after 3 days, he rose again. And he told you that heaven did exist. Would you believe him?
it depends on their track record, my guy. If it was my uncle Bill,
Mm-hmm.
who is devoted to the church since he was 14 years old and has preached his whole life, never smoked, never drank, never did anything, only has a track record of being an engineer for General Electric and has worked his whole life, retired, did nothing, never cussed, never did anything wrong to
Yeah.
anyone.
So what?
I mean, and he's perfect. He's definitely done bad things. He may have ran stoplights and fucking broke the law, but like his track record is more positive than it is anybody's
Yeah, I
negative.
agree. Right.
If he
So
said that he died and then rose 3 days later, I would probably believe him. But there is a slight chance in me that I would say, no, he's
yeah,
probably wrong.
I'm talking about a person who never lied or ever sinned in his entire life and died and then rose again after 3 days and told you that heaven did exist. Right? He never lied. Right?
There would still be a percentage of me. There
You
would still
can
be a
trust his
small,
honesty. You can trust his character because he is all good. Would you believe him?
there's still a small part of me that would not know.
That you not know. Yeah, because actually the person that I'm talking about is Jesus Christ. You know him, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I figured once you said 3 days, yes.
Yeah. So do you agree that do you believe that Jesus Christ is God?
I haven't studied enough to know anything about this. I haven't read the Bible. I've tried
Mm,
to read the Bible. It's very it's like reading Mark Twain. Like it's
mm,
and even probably harder than Mark
mhm,
Twain. It's just like their vocabulary is different and they're it's like you're talking to somebody with the gift of gab.
mhm.
They speak fluently and totally different than
But you
if I would have to take years to do that.
yeah,
I
but
tried
you
reading it, but it
yeah.
didn't work.
Oh, sorry. But you do know what happened to Jesus, right? I mean everybody knows that.
You know,
So you didn't know that he died on the cross? You know that, right? I
I
mean
mean, so there's a difference. Like that's why listening to I try to listen to the who's the guy that we just mentioned? Fucking I
Cliff
can't his
Cliff Connectly?
is that his clinically? Yeah,
Yeah, it's hard to pronounce that, but yeah, basically that's it. Yeah.
that's why I try to listen because then they had me confused. So God is that he was confused himself. He was trying to explain it to people in latent terms because they were more my intelligence level is relatively decent. Like I'm not ignorant, obviously, but when he was explaining it, it was confusing the fuck out of me because God and Jesus are two different people. One is the form of him on earth, or no, I don't understand that. One is the
So,
form of him in his self and his body on earth. He was a human, but then he rose to heaven and something like that. I'm not
So,
sure.
oh yeah, so it's basically God Himself taking on human form, human flesh, right? So His Godhood, He added His human nature, right, to live the same with us, right, to dwell among us. So that's what it means. So here's the thing,
And
right? So I'm gonna,
Jesus,
yeah, that's Jesus. So I'm gonna explain to you what that means, right? So it's because of this, man. All of us, we have this one major problem, and that's we haven't lived a perfect life because God requires for us a perfect life in order for us to go to heaven. Now, you're not perfect, I'm not perfect, I probably sinned more than you, and because we're not perfect, we deserve a punishment for all of the bad things that we've done, right? And no amount of good deeds we can do can actually overcompensate for that one because it doesn't work. But think of it this way, man. So you have hell punishment, right? What if someone took all of your hell punishment in your place? Is there, if someone took every punishment that you deserve?
yeah, that's what. Yeah, I know that he did that.
Yeah. So if Jesus took all of your hell punishment, is there any left for you?
I'm not sure on that. I'm like going off in my own mind. I have ADHD, so I'm thinking
Hmm.
like, does
Okay.
he know your? Because I mean, even if people are good, and what about their thoughts? People have crazy fucking thoughts.
Yeah.
Do your
So
thoughts negate everything? I mean, if you have bad thoughts, then what is he? What is there anything like that in the Ten Commandments?
so yeah, Jesus said that even if you think about, like, if you lust for a certain girl in your mind, you're actually committing adultery with her. But that's beyond the point, man. All of the bad deeds that you've done, even all of the bad thoughts that you've done, right? Let's say all of them, if you count them, they deserve 10 hell punishment, right? This is just an example. So you deserve
Bro,
10 hell
I
punishment.
can't, I can't.
Man, I was.
Really, see, you got to the core of the problem.